Damn it, son. This deal just got even juicier. $800,000, zero interest, zero payments.
Hello.
Mr. Jimmy.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Good morning. This is Chris Silva. How are you?
Chris, I'm doing okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How's your morning treating you?
Not too bad. Too bad.
Josh told me that you were in the hospital, or you were at the in the doctor's office. Is everything okay?
No, I just had some tests that did last week. So just the normal stuff that you get old, you got to do every once in a while. So that's it. So tell me, what's happening? What do you guys?
Well, the last I heard from you was you were going to talk to somebody, and I had told you I was ready to move on this, and if I had to make the drive down there, that I didn't mind doing that. However,
let me ask you this question. The only thing I had, let's go over what you offered again. Tell me again how you, because I thought you'd send me just an email with it in writing, but or not in writing, but at least where I could look at it and give me a night. Tell me again what you were going to do, Chris. And the only thing I didn't like, if I remember correctly, because I'm not kidding, I've had like 3 or 4 different people that have been interested and made proposals. But the last time was, the only thing I didn't care for was the 3 years and maybe needed an extension.
Yeah, and remember
and
we had
my only hang up is
we had squashed that out because we said we would only do a 1-year extension if needed. Your thing was like, Chris, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it open, and I said, okay, we won't do it open. We'll just do 1 year just in case for whatever reason.
But if we do that, I need to get some interest, Chris. Mike, let me tell you.
Talk to me, Jimmy. Let's make this happen. I know you want to sell. I want to buy. I just want to make that clear. I don't want to. I'm not here to waste your time. I know you want to sell. I want to buy. Let's see what we can figure out, and we'll get this in writing today.
Okay. Again, what you're going to put down, the amount you're going to put down
was $300,000.
Okay.
I could do $300,000.
And then the balance due in 3 years.
That is correct.
Okay. At no interest, which is okay. We agree to that, and no monthly payments. And you take care of closing costs. There's not anything major in closing costs, I don't think. But what you tell me, just tell me what you propose. And the only thing I do want, I need to be guaranteed that we'll have the balance in 3 years, Chris. 3 years, I'm going to be damn near 80 years old, and I don't want to leave my wife. Her mom lived to be almost 100. She passed away.
Did he say no payments?
99, and I just don't want to leave any loose ends if something does, God forbid, happen. And that's why I said I just soon have it where it is, no extensions. And mainly because at that stage of our lives, that's when we're going to probably need nursing homes and crap like that cost you a lot of money. So,
Jimmy,
there's a way you could do it without.
I totally understand. I understand the concerns, and I know why. It makes sense. It only makes sense. So I'm okay with that.
In 3 years, interest rates, okay. Then send me just an email or whatever in writing, if you would, this morning, and I'll go over it with my wife. I think that everything should be okay. Do you guys plan? Let me just ask you one question. I don't, it's none of my business but do you plan to leave it as a mobile home park as is, or is it going to be? Are you going to bring in other homes?
Yeah. Remember we had, I don't know if you remember the conversation, but the idea is to keep it as is and just update it. I want to, the plan is to.
There's a lot of room for increase in rents. And I will tell you, I've got 1, maybe 2 that have this rental assistance, and I will have a check. Like one of them has got, I think they're going to pay 7 months in advance, which I will turn over to you. But just to let you know that there's a couple that then they're like a $235 a month, just a regular mobile homes.
Okay.
There's a couple of those, and then I've got one that the lady sent me, and I can adjust that, but she's.
Oh my gosh. Jimmy, can you hear me? Jimmy, I do apologize. My other line was ringing and I accidentally hung up. But I was at the part with the rental assistance that you have several mobile homes there.
Okay, so
that are.
There's one for sure, maybe 2 that have that rental. Where they I don't know what it's still part of that COVID deal, I guess. And then I have one who's. This guy is in the RVs, and he's been here for 10 years. He's got a degree from New Mexico State, but he couldn't stand prosperity, and he doesn't bother. He's never been a problem one, but he drinks, and he's kind of screwed up. And his parents, he's older. He's probably 50 something, but his parents are still paying the rent, and they sent me, I don't know, several checks a while back. He pays $260, but that's about out, and that could be adjusted. But I'm just letting you know up front what, a couple of things that would be a little bit not a problem, because on the 7 months I'll just give you a check for whatever their rent is going to be, and that's about it. Other than that,
the ones that the rental assistance program, they're paying for the land or they're paying for the mobile home?
No, just the land.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. I didn't know that there was programs for the land. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's a rental. And then I've got one. I'm sitting here in front of it right now that is on their way out. They've been a problem, and the people who own the trailer, their son let this guy move in, and of course they started squatting, and now they gave an eviction notice. They've got till the 12th, and she's responsible for the rent. They're back on the rent and stuff, but the people that own the trailer are responsible, and they take responsibility, and they're evicting these people. They're about the only real problem tenants I have right now, and they were a problem because they brought in a bunch of these homeless that come and hang out and stuff like that, and it's sad to say in this world, but it's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it other than just go through the court system and bite your time. But anyhow, other than that, that's pretty much the only, I won't say problems, but situation. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have to be here at all. That and to collect rent.
Yeah. And what about the guy that takes care of the one that doesn't pay rent? Is he the one that told you about the problem? Like, is he a good resource for you?
No, he's here. He's okay. On site. He primarily when he lets me know if there's a problem. I don't like to get anybody else involved. If I got a bitch at somebody, I'll go do it myself. Unless he just sees something flagrant, at the time. But other than that, he'll call me and say, "Hey, Jimmy, there's so-and-so is doing something," and then that's it. He takes care of it. There's somebody calls me and says, "Hey, sewer's backing up," or water leak, or something, along those lines. He's here and he takes care of it for me. So, but that's mainly what he does. He doesn't. Once in a great while, he might handle payment for a few hours or something. But other than that, I collect all the rent, and all but, let me see, two or three tenants. I got three that pay with check. Everybody else pays by cash, and that could be changed. I know you guys, there's a lot easier ways to do it, but I've always collected. Like now, I'll be here until Friday is when I get, whenever the first comes close to a Friday, it's usually the next Friday that they pay. Everybody here just works
payday. Yeah. And
Friday will be the day I collect the most. I do have, it's supposedly after the 5th, pay 10% late fee, but I very seldom, unless somebody really makes me mad or something. And if it's the 10th on, then I just give them eviction. And I have not been to court for an eviction in probably 5-6 years. That pretty well sums up that part of it. And that's it.
Awesome.
Part is staying fairly clean.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you, I know you said you were going to talk to your wife. Was she on board the last time that we talked? Like, is that going to kind of be an issue, or what?
Pretty much. Yeah, she was okay with. She just wanted to see it, which to compare. But I think if you could put that, I think we could probably make a deal. You just put that in an email to me so I can show it to her, and that way I have it's not the word between you and me, but I've got to make sure that she sees it written out, más o menos, and let her look at it, and I'll get back to you probably in the next day or so.
Yeah, why don't we do this, Jimmy? Why don't we set a tentative time for tomorrow so that way we could just, once she agrees, what I'll do is I'll draft up that email right now, the $300,000 down, $800,000 no payment, 3 years. Over the 3 year, you guys are going to get paid out within 3 years, 30-day close, ideally. And what we'll do is I don't know what your schedule looks like tomorrow.
Tomorrow would be okay.
Okay.
Today's my wife's birthday, so I've got to behave myself, and so tomorrow will be okay. Just let me know what time, and I'll double check with her, but I think everything is be all right.
Does tomorrow at 10 to 11 a.m. work for you?
That's good, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, I'll block off that noon time from like 11 to 12 by the time I get back over here, and then I'll draft up that email right now, and then I'll have the transaction coordinator start on the contract, and then we will meet tomorrow. And if anything changes between here, or
Well,
tomorrow you could text Josh back. That's no worries.
Okay. And I just now he's got like an answering service that answers, correct?
Yeah, it's an
'Cause
automation.
I
So when
call there
you
once and I get.
if you call back,
Okay.
you could just press the
good.
number 1 and you'll be directed right to our operator, and you could ask for Josh or myself. Most of the time, Josh will probably answer.
All right, fine. Okay, well, if you'll send me that email and I'll go to the house and get it, and we'll sit down and start visiting on it. And I see no problem meeting tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Awesome, Jimmy. And this is something that when she gives you the green light, this is something ideally we can move on pretty quickly, correct?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I've got one. I think it's like $70-some thousand I owe First Light on the park, and that's it. Other than that, there's no taxes paid until the 1st of May. But of course, the closing, they'll settle all that stuff out of the proceeds back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
And any rents paid in advance, I will let you know. I guess any past due rents, I just better worry about collecting myself. I've got one guy that owes me some money for something else, but it's not to do with rent.
Yeah,
Other
I would
than
just
the one that's
go
being
back
paid
and
out, but-
collect everything that you owed from everybody else.
Yeah, okay. And then pay you whatever is that'd be fine. So just tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Send me that first, if you don't mind, in an email. I think you have my address, don't you?
Let me check with
My email?
Josh. Josh, do we have Jimmy's address? He's gonna double check, but can you do me a favor, Jimmy? Can you text it over to this number?
Sure. Well, it's just going to go back to it's going to go back to Josh's number, correct?
Yeah, it goes back to Josh's, and he's able to receive the text messages.
Okay, I'll double do it. It's a real simple one. It's all small caps, but it's just a small JAMCOLCNN at Hotmail. It's just Jamco, Las Cruces, New Mexico at hotmail.com. But I'll send it to you right now, and I'll wait for your.
I'll definitely have it. I'll have it over this morning, Jimmy.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Sounds
Thank
good. You
Josh.
have an amazing day. All right, we'll talk soon.
I know. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.